I heard the clap. That means we're on. We're on the air.
Awesome.
Hey, Charlie McGee, thanks for coming to the Golden Com podcast.
Thank you for having me.
I'm glad our schedules finally worked out. We've been trying to get this on the books for a while.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's awesome. It's awesome to have you here.
Thank you.
So this is a podcast, and I want to learn more about you. I know quite a bit about you, but this is great for the audience. Some things that I ask you today will be what you're up to. And specifically, I see you're wearing a Clemson shirt.
Yes, sir.
So tell me about Clemson.
So Clemson is awesome. So Clemson has a program where people with disabilities come into the 4 years and learning how to be independent.
Okay. So that's where you are now.
Yes, sir.
You're a student. You're on summer break?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So I want to get into that for sure. But let's talk about the road that got you there. Where did you grow up?
So I grew up like here to start, and I've been looking for schools. And
Well, here is because it's for the audience. Where's here?
in California.
Okay, you're in California, Southern California.
Yes, sir.
Is that right? And you went to high school.
I went to Mater Day High School for 4 years.
Mater Day.
Mater-
Ooh, I've heard of them. You went to Mater Day?
Yes, sir.
That's pretty good. And at Mater Day, what were some of the activities that you did?
Some of the activities I did, I was a ASB, like a leader, and working with campus ministry, like giving out food for them, and also I was on the Mater Day wrestling team.
You were on the Mater Day wrestling team. I think I have a surprise for you. I've captured a picture of that.
Awesome.
I have it right here. Let's see if we can bring that up. There.
Awesome.
All right. So look at that picture. That is, which one's you?
So I'm on the right.
You're on there. Okay. And who's on the left?
My friend is Jakey McLaughlin.
Mm-hmm. And this is the high school wrestling team?
Yes, sir.
How long did you do that for?
So we normally go for 3 hours. Like, it depends on what time it starts. And then once we go, we warm up, and we get drill. And then after we drill, we go live and see how good we get into wrestling matches in general. So we want to show Mater Day what's right for the program there.
Okay. So I want to get to the Clemson story, but I also want to acknowledge something. I mean, wrestling is hard. You know, most people probably don't know how much conditioning wrestling takes. So you said you spend about 3 hours a day doing conditioning?
Well, it's 3 hours based on conditioning and lifting. Mm-hmm. So some of the time where we start conditioning, we go hard for a good, solid few minutes or two to understand what the impacts are to work hard. And so what these wrestlers are trying to see if how they can be what is best for the program.
Okay, really good. Now you graduated Mater Day. I know that because I have evidence of it. Look at the screen here. Who's that?
Me.
Congratulations. It says killing it at Charlie McGee. So that's definitely a graduation ceremony right there.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, well, that's impressive. Mater Day graduate. So now you're looking at schools. You said you were starting to look at schools during your junior, senior year, like any other junior, senior. And you stumble on Clemson?
So I looked at Clemson because I want to find a school that has a right school for me to go to. And I want to see where I can meet new friends and interact with them and learning what I can do on my own.
Okay. Now I have another picture here. Cool. Put that Manning cast back on, and so check this out. So that's a good photo. Where is this?
So it's actually in Clemson. It's their football stadium,
mm-hmm.
and it's basically in the complex area specifically, and it's where you can get when people come in, we can give them a tour around the complex. And the area that I'm in right now is kind of near the practice facility, and you can see what kind of what they can wear for the games, basically.
Okay. So the program's called, you said it was called Clemson Life?
Yes, sir. Clemson Life.
And about how many people are in that program?
I honestly do not know, but my estimate, I would say, is like maybe 200 to 500 students.
Oh, total? How about in your
Total.
class? You were a freshman last year?
Yes, sir.
So how many in your class?
I have like 13.
13 people. Awesome. I got to show the next picture here, right here. A little bit of Clemson Life. This is what Clemson Life looks like, huh?
Yes, sir.
Who are these folks?
So these folks, so some of them are actually AP students, and some are in the basic program, and one of them was my roommate, and so the AP program in Clemson Life is based on how these students that learn how to be more independent and knowing to understand that like when they are knowing to do something they can do which is hard for them, they can solve that on their own.
I like that. So it sounds like you enjoy a challenge.
Yes, sir.
That's what it sounds like. So when you find something that's hard to do, you kind of lean into it there,
Yes,
don't
sir.
you? Yeah. All right. I got another picture here. Show this one. Tell me about this one.
So we just had my last couple of days of Clemson Life, and that's my first year. And those are my two teachers for freshman teachers, and they showed me a lot of things that I can do on my own. And I am so grateful that these teachers taught me how, like, to be independent and knowing to understand what it feels like to be a Clemson Tiger.
That looks like are those the 13 people you talked about that are in your class, roughly?
Yes, sir.
Or okay, that makes sense. Hey, next picture here, Char. Check this out. So she looks fun to be around.
She is.
Yeah, what's her name?
Her name is Mary Elizabeth McNair.
Oh. And how'd you meet her?
So going back to Clemson, we had a freshman orientation. So when we go to the freshman orientation, so my dad met her parents, and my mom was with my dad, and they were just talking to her parents and getting along and being good friends. And they have a daughter, and I realized she also has a disability, and she's amazing as a good friend, and knowing that like I don't see any disability in her, and she's like so nice, and knowing to understand that like when she needs something to get help, I'm really to help her. So she's a great friend of mine.
Oh, that is an awesome answer. I got another picture here. This one is I'm going to interested in your facial reaction when I show you this one. You ready?
Mm-hmm.
How about that? What
So
is that? That is a good move.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Tell me about it.
So Clemson Life hosts like dances, like fall formal, or maybe like more like of those festivities, and they make like students to go and to have fun with each other, dance and eat, and figure out what moves we can do, and like understand what we can do. Like it is like awesome to have these dances so people can realize they can have a date or without a date, and so they understand what it feels like to be in dance.
That's fantastic. That sure seems fun. But I also know it's not just all fun, football, and dance there. I know it's hard work.
Yes, sir.
And for example, check out this next one here. So what's going on here?
So this is one of my classes, and it's called grocery shopping. It's based on how we make better choices. And some of the times where it's hard to make bad choices, and I want to and there's some things that I think, oh, I think this is healthier, or this is not good for you. Just like there's a lot of foods that can be like subsequently knowing to understand that like when you eat something that you should not be eating, then you need to follow that like concept on knowing which is healthy or which is healthier and which is not.
And so you got some pretty good analysis on the type of food that you're eating and making good choices.
Yes, sir.
I like it. Keep on making good choices, and you keep on experiencing new activities, like an activity like this next slide. Like, check this one out. What's going on? These look like two friendly people. Who are they?
So one of them is actually the QB of the Clemson football team, and his name is Kay Klumnick, and I really stood out to him. He's a good friend of mine, and he's also a great football player, and he's I would say one of my good friends that he shows me how to be a good coach. I stood out to him, and I'm coaching him, and personally, on the other picture, I am with Coach Dabo Sweeney, and I really, really stood out to him a lot, whether on the field or off the field. I want to show Coach Dabo that if he needs somebody to get closer to him, and knowing that, if you need help on something that he has been trying to get people to move, then I'll be the person that helps him to make this football players to motivate.
Let me see if I understand this. So it sounds like that you have, through probably some hard work, and I know a little bit about Coach's philosophy there, and the character that you have probably presented, you've worked your way into the football program?
Yes, sir.
Oh, explain that.
So Clemson Life has manager jobs openings, and so they put me with the football team, and then one of the coaches came into the Clemson Life classroom and got me an interview based on how I can do to work with the team, and so I am loving it right now, and so basically how I got interviewed is based on if I get this job right and learning the challenges I can make to make the team better.
Wow, that's fantastic. Now, I wonder if they know what a ferocious fantasy football owner you are. I mean, I know this firsthand because I've played you, and you really know your stuff, Jar, when it comes to football strategy. Are you doing strategy? Are you doing motivation? Are you doing strength and conditioning? What is the role over there at Clemson Life?
So for Clemson Life, it's based on how to get up, be on time, go to classes, and once you go on to classes, you just work your way to learn to understand when you do something, to build, to do your homework, and then do things beforehand, so you can do things that you can do for free. And for student athletes, kind of what football players are doing, is to learn how to work on homework and not skip practice. And so they have to go to practice soon enough so they can try to see what it feels like to be a self-adequate athlete. And I want to show these players that I want to help them to stood out of giving an opportunity to play.
Okay. I can definitely see how your role at Clemson Life, and then your extended role with your job with the football team, I could definitely see how your presence could give an uplifting spirit, and could also give the players tremendous motivation to give their very best.
Yes, sir.
I can see that. So we're going to get wrapped up here, but one of the things I've always admired about you, and watching you grow up, I've always admired how you stay in condition. And what I mean by condition, I mean three things. So physical condition, which you've always been terrific. Mental condition,
Yes, sir.
which is your mind and training yourself, and we heard a little bit. And then moral condition, spiritual condition. So for our audience, do you have one tip for each of those three segments? I'll name the segment again, and give me just one tip. What is one tip that you have on physical condition?
Working out most of the time. It's working out.
Oh, is that every day, every other day?
Is mostly every day, so people can stood out how to work out every day, for 7 days a week.
Oh, how long do you have to work out, in your opinion?
So I was an hour or 2 hours, and make you more energetic, and find out how you can build to understand to when you show people that you show respect. For an example, for the Clemson football team, they actually lift, and they also go on the field, and they show that they are like a real football player, and I want to I want to stew out all these players to have a great time at Clemson.
Okay, so working out an hour or two a day. I love that. Okay, next one is the mental condition. One tip on how to stay sharp mentally.
So one word I would say is based on like the mindset, and knowing that these mindsets can show other people that when they understand is to like think about what is best for you and even your family and even your teammates and coaches. And it feels like when you believe in something that these coaches are giving you and your parents, your grandparents, and your teammates, like shows that they will always be with you and giving you the time to give you a great opportunity to play, and like they will mentally help you with other things as well.
So I like that tip. So the mindset of not just thinking about yourself, but thinking about others.
Yes, sir.
And everybody around you.
Yes, sir.
And what's best for the people around us.
So I think it is most important because when we treat others like the same, we want to help them to understand what it feels like when we help them is to show how we love them and respect them. And I heard a little story based on how people can get along with each other. And one of my friends actually told me this: when you treat others the same, we should love them as well.
I love that, Char. Okay, last one on the condition front. Spiritually, moral condition. Any tips how you stay grounded spiritually and morally?
So yes, so it's basically the Lord. The Lord has been showing like what is right to make a lot of things more easier, and knowing that God is always near with like, being with us, and like he shows that like what it feels like to understand what kind of freedom that we have, and he shows us that like when we follow his path to be a good Christian and Catholic, it's mostly based on how we love him and not denying him. We love him at all costs. We do what he asks, and we want to help him in his name to show him what is right for every other people in the United States.
Charlie, that's powerful. That's good stuff. I can see how you stay in great condition, very anchored.
Thank you.
Yep. So you mentioned your family. I want to end it with this. What do we have here? We got last photo up here. So this is a nice looking crew here. So what's going on here?
So this is my two older brothers. So one of my brothers is actually like the oldest of the family, and his name is Graham. Mm-hmm. And then my other brother, his name is Emmett. And then that's my mom in the middle.
And I would guess that your dad is
taking the photo.
Taking the photo. That's right. That's what dads do. They take photos. So, Charlie, thanks for coming on.
Thank you.
It's my pleasure to spend time with you. Maybe we'll do it again.
Awesome.
Okay.